Hi, I'm Ari. I'm going to be doing the Latina makeup look today, so come on in, let's get started. First, I'm going to start off by using the ULTA Poreless Face Primer. And I've already did my skincare, so I'm just going to prep my face. Dang, this is supposed to be like that. It's kind of liquidy, so I'm just going to shake it up. So I guess it's supposed to be like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on my face. And I don't know if you can tell that it's on there. You can barely see it because the product is clear.
I'm trying the Latina trend today. So we'll see.
Now I'm going to do something a little different than I normally do, and that's brows.
Okay. I forgot.
Okay, so I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Brow Stylist in the shade Soft Black. And I'm just doing the outline of my brows, and I will go to fill them in later. I'm back, y'all. Got to moisturize these lips.
Moisturize my lips. Hi. And then we'll go in with an angle brush.
Now I'm just going to be taking a small flat brush, and I'm going to be using a black eyeshadow to fill in my brows.
Just fill in brows.
And I'm doing my brows darker on the ends and basically going to be fanning out the beginning of my brow so it isn't as dark as the tail end.
Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the dark.
Now I'm going to be doing a dark brown eyeshadow and fill in some of the spots on my brows. So I'm just mixing the two colors together. And for this makeup trend, yes, I know my brows are a little bit thick and dark, but that's the look we're going for. I find that most of the Latina makeup looks, they do have a thick, bold eyebrow shape and color, so I know it looks crazy, but just trust the process. I'ma clean it up later. Now moving on to the other brow. Seems to be my primer is reacting and beating up to the skincare that I already have. It's trying to get that out of my eyebrows. And excuse my son.
Excuse me. Hi, sweetie.
And again, we are just doing the outline and we will go and fill in the brows later.
Yes, mommy. It's mommy.
And now we are taking our black eyeshadow and going to filling in and darkening the brow shape. And I'm just putting the excess at the beginning of the brow. It's not going to be too dark at the beginning. We're going to kind of fade it out. And now I'm just checking that my eyebrows are on the same wavelength. And they almost are. Now we are going in with the dark brown eyeshadow and filling in the spots that we missed earlier to blend in with the black eyeshadow.
I'll get another one.
Okay, now we're going to conceal, and I'm using the Maybelline concealer instant age rewinder eraser or whatever in the shade 141. Now I did conceal with a lighter one. I think it was by Revolution, but it was so light that I had to go in with a darker shade. And I'm taking a smaller rounded brush, but I think that's going to take a while to do, so I'm going to have to switch brushes to a more fluffy round brush and blend that out. And I'm going to be dragging that across my lid to help with the base of my eyeshadow that I will be doing. And I will also use a primer on top of that. And now we're just going to clean up them brows. It's going to be coming together, I told y'all. You know, I'm just going to put some of that underneath my eyes because it is concealer. So I will color correct afterwards. We're just brushing our brows into place. And now I'm going to take the e.l.f. color corrector and gently press it underneath my eyes to color correct. If you have any dark circles, this works great for it. Now I'm going to be using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop in the shade Warm Honey. It is the concealer. So I'm going to be placing that underneath my eyes, at the corners of my eyes. And then we're going to get the edges of our nose and the bridge. In any other spots that I color corrected, I'm going to put this on top of it. And now I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and just blend all that out. And now we're going to be using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation in the shade Classic Tan and Golden Honey. I mix those two together and just wipe it on there. We don't like to waste nothing. And now we'll just start blending that out. We'll be tapping, not rubbing. And now I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade 220 to kind of bake underneath my eyes to set that concealer and foundation I have underneath there. Now we're just gonna buff it all out. And I'm just taking some eyeshadow shades from my Tease the Season palette, the full package, and take the reins to bronze. And now I'm just using the shade Take the Reins on its own for my cheek bronzer. And I'm going to take the leftover and put it on my forehead. And now we're just going to buff the bronzer on our cheek. We're going to buff it in an upward motion. And I'm going to take my blush, and I'm using the Revolution, the quad pad, and I'm going in with the third shade. And it's got some kind of shimmer in it, like built into it. It's like a light pink shade. Now I'm going to take my NYX Buttermelt blush in the shade Butta with Time and put that on top of it. And now we're going in Magic Mirror Palette using the shade Warm Glare. But before we do that, we're going to go in with our eyeshadow primer from Milani and put that all over our lid. Excuse my son, he's back. We're going to be using Dreams and Fantasies instead. We'll come back to Warm Glare in a little bit, but we're going in with the shade Dreams and Fantasies and putting that all over our lid. We're going to be taking the shade Warm Glare and going on top of that, mostly on the corners of our eye.
My son over here smiling at me.
And now we're going to take that shade and sweep it across the lid. And I'm just taking Dreams and Fantasies and putting it on my finger and placing it on my lid. That way it can show up just a little bit better. Now we're going to take Warm Glare again and place a little on our finger and kind of put it into the creases and on the edge, and I'm just going to blend that out with a smaller brush. So now I'm going to take Like a Charm and Future Flash and place that into the inner corners of my eyes just to brighten it up a bit. Now I'm going in with the Morphe Tease to Season palette, and I'm going to be using Expertise on top of that into the inner corner. There we go. There's that pop we're looking for. And we're just going to blend that out a little bit. Okay, so now you can see my eyeshadow a little bit better at this angle. And now we're going to take a smaller flat brush and contour our nose. I'm using the eyeshadow Before Your Eyes from the Magic Mirror palette. Now we're going to take our fingers and just blend it out. So I'm going to take a rounder flat brush and blend it out a little bit better. And I'm just going to go over it with my beauty blender. And I had some leftover foundation on there, so I just blended that out a little bit. And I'm going to carve out my wing shape with the Essence gel liner in the shade Black Fever. Okay, now I'm going to be going in with the Wet n Wild Mega Liner in the black shade. Now I'm going to take my gel liner and go into the inner corners of my eyes with this. Now we're going to carve out the other wing with the gel liner first. That way I can get an idea of the shape that I'm going to do. And back to our liquid eyeliner. Now I'm going to be doing the Ioni eyelashes, but before I do that, I'm going to go in with my telescopic mascara in the shade Black is Black. And now we're going in with our Ioni eyelashes. And I did my lashes off screen. Now I'm going in with my LA Colors Rose Gold Shimmer Gel Liner into my waterline. And I did go over my lashes with the liquid eyeliner. Now I'm going to be using the gel liner on my lower lash line. And I'm not going to go too dark with it. I'm just kind of dragging it along the edges. And I'm not really connecting it to the outer corner of my eye. I'm leaving a space open. And now we're going back in with our telescopic mascara, and I am dragging these along my bottom lashes. Now I'm using my Morphe Soulmate lip liner in the shade Compatible. And I'm just going to line my lips. And now I'm going to be using the Essence. It's actually an eyeliner that I'm using as a lip liner in the shade Chocolate. I'm going over the lip liner I just used to kind of give it like a cherry cola look. And now I will be using the Juvia's Place Velvet Lipstick in the shade Toffee. Reline my lips a little bit more. And I'm going to be using my LA Colors High Shine Lip Gloss in the shade Doll Face. Now this is my favorite. I like it so much I bought 3 of them to make sure I don't run out. It's a pretty nude gloss for people with brown skin. It'll look really great on you. And now we're going to highlight. I am using ColourPop Au Revoir highlighter. Yeah, we got it. Hit it above the eyebrow bone and underneath it. She glowing. I'm gonna do the other side. And now we're gonna do our cheekbones. And hit the forehead as well. Now we're just gonna blend it out. And now we are gonna set our face with the MAC Fix It Plus setting spray. And we're gonna fan it out, girl. And this is the finished makeup look. What do you think? Don't forget to watch the full video and like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you. Bye.